Hi, Wayne Dorban, DrEcolonomics here in Northern Colorado. And I'm doing a off the cuff, literally planned seconds ago, blog related to the topic of eating meat. And the reason for this is it's a topic that I think is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. And there's quite a lively Facebook discussion going on right now about this topic. Over on my personal profile that I'll put here. It's actually http facebook.com/Wayne.Dorban. And it's one that I started yesterday, probably about this time, and has continued on. There's been a lot of emotion related to it, passionate feelings by people who are very passionate that we should not be eating meat in any manner, any kind, to other people who are involved in farming and ranching, and those that aren't, who have fairly strong opinions that there's no problem with eating meat, and actually that meat should be something that is a part of the human's diet. I see that somebody else came on here. I'm not sure who that might be. Just checking to see. Total 2 viewers, but it's only showing me. Sometimes I'm not sure. It says 1 visitor, so I've got somebody that's just watching this broadly on the feed at WDorband, which if you're doing that, you can log in. If you probably means you've never used Blab before. It might have been somebody that I just talked to on the Facebook post that I gave, and that you can actually get into this by putting your Twitter handle in, Twitter contact name, and you can log in, and then you can be online here with me. Let me just give you a little background for this. I am a farmer, a rancher. I've been one for 40 years. Over the last 10 years, it hasn't been casual. It's part of what my wife and I make our living with. Frankly, if we don't have some kind of financial success with it, it causes a great deal of financial hardship for us. It's a 365-day-a-year business, and it is one that we are passionate about. There are days when we love it, and there are days like yesterday when it was snowing all day long, windy, cold, and we didn't have as much of our staff there because it was a holiday, that it wasn't so fun. However, even yesterday, it still was more fun probably than for us than being in a city environment, because we had several little things happen that you would only see in a farm sort of situation. Again, related to animals. We love animals. We raise animals for pets. We have dogs and cats, and we've raised fish that have been as pets. But we also, because we're farmers and ranchers, we harvest animals for a variety of different purposes. We have chickens that we harvest eggs from. We have chickens that we raise for meat. We have other kinds of different avian animals at different times that we raise for both eggs and meat. We have a market farm where we raise a whole variety of plants for consumption. And that's kind of the context that this discussion yesterday started from. So we use a tool called Post Planner, which if there's anyone that's listening to this as a replay or live, it's a tool that I highly would recommend for you that you could use to help you manage your social presence, specifically on Facebook. And this tool allows us to go out and find Facebook posts that have had a lot of engagement related to various topics. So one of those topics that we research on a regular basis is alpacas, because alpaca happens to be one of the livestock groups that we farm and that we raise. And we look for posts that are about alpacas. And a post became visible day before yesterday that we saw was getting a lot of engagement about someone who is raising alpacas in Australia, who is specifically harvesting them for meat. Once they're being culled from their breeding program, and is additionally raising some income. And this particular article was about a recipe involving something that could be made using alpaca meat. So we posted that, and immediately it started to get lots of attention. And I actually started a discussion around the topic. There were some very emotional responses related to that topic. And by the way, Pradeep Sharma, welcome, and appreciate you coming on here with our discussion. As you can see, we're talking about should you be eating meat, and the whole topic talking about eating meat. I'm giving the context of why we're having this. This discussion on Facebook has gotten very, very personal, and people have very, very deep passions about their views. And some of them are scientific, so they believe very strongly that you should not be eating meat, that it's harmful as a human being to be eating meat, and that humans were never meant to eat meat. Some argument about our dentition, our teeth are not made at all to be a meat eater. Other arguments about how our digestive tracts are not made for meat eating, and other cancer disease related discussion related to that. Those discussions are easy to handle and to work with because they usually are not based on emotion. They're based on some kind of published and available information, whether it's disputable or completely accurate isn't necessarily even relevant. More importantly, it's out there and anybody can view it, and the people that have put it out there are expressing their views. What becomes difficult is when people start to get emotional about it because of, I'll call it a personal preference. And that could be because of a spirituality that they have, or just something that's deep-seated inside them. And they just passionately believe that it's not appropriate for human beings to eat anything that is derived from the flesh of an animal. And I believe we should respect that view. Whether we agree with it or not, we should respect it, and we should respect the view that's the opposite of that, which would be that it is completely appropriate for humans to be eating meat that is derived from the flesh of an animal. What typically begins to happen, however, when those kinds of discussions occur, and it's what's happening on Facebook right now, is that emotion comes into play, and people start getting into a name-calling mode. They start to get very personal. And I made a comment on Facebook saying that I think we could avoid this if we were sitting down in a room together. Unfortunately, people are dialoguing on Facebook that are all over the world, and they can't sit down in a room together very easily. Instead, they have to talk by text that they're sending through Facebook. And what happens, I think, is that when you have that, is that people get emotional at times in some of their responses. Sometimes when we write things, at least I know I have this problem, sometimes I can't write really what I'm thinking. I can speak it, and I might even speak it wrong, but if I'm in a dialogue, if you and I are talking, then I have a chance to correct what I might have said if I said something inappropriately. That's why I would hope that somebody will come on here and view live with me, because I said I was going to do this impromptu. I know that I could see several other people are watching this, but it would be wonderful if somebody else came on, we could have a dialogue. Because what happens, again, when we're in this isolated situation like Facebook is I think people are very close to actually agreeing on some things. It's certainly not being really hostile to one another. And then somebody else comments, and that blows up again. But yet when we're dialoguing in a more of a live situation, like I really believe that this platform, Blob, can allow us to do, we can sort that out. I can talk for a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes, and then you can talk, and another person can talk, and we all might express a view, and then we might listen and go, you know what, I didn't really mean it quite the way I said it. I really like what you said, and I think I would agree with that. Most importantly, what I commented on Facebook and said was that I think we could become friends, and if we truly were friends and we cared about each other, we would understand that sometimes we say stupid stuff, and we don't say exactly what we hoped we would have later. And yet, if we're friends and we're dialoguing, we realize that it wasn't said to be hurtful. It wasn't said to harm anyone. Instead, it was said to truly create a dialogue. And so I saw that Greg came on and he left quickly. Obviously this wasn't for him. But again, if anyone was to come on here, would like to get involved in this discussion, and really it's a combination of a discussion about eating meat and also maybe about how this platform could help people come to a better understanding of each other's views when they're able to talk, more like a face-to-face situation that we have, obviously, if we were all sitting around together in the same room. But I believe that this platform allows us to do that. So I had said on the Facebook post that I made that I would stay on here for 15 minutes or so and see if anybody else wanted to join in. I don't really want to make this just totally a monologue. One of the cool things about Blob is it allows you to have a replay. So there will be a replay of this. If for whatever reason you wanted to come in and listen to it, you can actually continue to dialogue through a chat, through the questions that can occur. And so you can use, and I'm going to do it here, you can use a /Q and put a question in. Why are you talking about meat? Eating meat. And when you type in the $Q, it actually shows up as a question on both the right-hand side and now actually on the left-hand side. And so people can give an answer in either one of those two locations. And like I said, it looks to me, it seems that there are a couple other people that are watching live. I think you might be able to even ask questions or put in comments in the chat section, even if you aren't registered. I'm not sure about that, actually. Again, we've been using Blob for about a month now, but we're really just learning it. I'd like to have this as being a regular Blob discussion, not necessarily the talking about eating meat, but the whole idea of the ethics and the science of what we do eat and how we manage our eating habits and how those eating habits are affecting the planet broadly, because that's something that I have a very strong passion for. So, like I said, I think I'll hang here for just a little bit longer and then jump off because it doesn't make sense to totally just be doing a monologue. I'm going to actually go to Facebook real quick and look and see if anybody else has made any more comments. But I had put previously, here's an example of just what can happen. A person responded to my little Blob-related situation and said, no thanks, it hasn't been fun here, and I don't intend to subject myself to more barbed comments from people who have disregarded the facts and sources I have provided because they don't want to feel guilty about killing and eating animals. The meat eaters always chase the ethical vegans, and the moderators will always stand by and let it happen. I promise, Lori, that if you came on to Blob right now, that I would not do that. I've stated that I'm probably a little bit on the fence, frankly, both in an ethical perspective and from a scientific dietary perspective, because I think there's actually good arguments in both directions. But I also don't think that you have to just agree with someone to be able to have a discussion. I think that it's very possible to have a very lively, good discussion without people being in agreement. I think that the best discussions occur when there's 2 points of view that are being reasonably, thoughtfully, passionately discussed, but where both parties or the group of parties all understand that their views are important and the other people's views are important. And guess what? Sometimes you aren't going to sway people. I see, Lori, that you've gotten upset because you think that people just won't be swayed to your view. You shouldn't feel that way. Most people won't be swayed, but some will. And if you continue to express your views, there's a good chance that if you continue to be thoughtful, reasonable, passionate, caring, I think that's a big part about other people's feelings, then you will. People are going to hurt you. That's going to always happen. People are not going to agree. They're going to be mean. They're going to be demeaning. They're going to be bullies. That word's been used a lot in this conversation that's out there, is that people are being bullies. You're bullying. I've seen the word preaching used. People are preaching. People do that. That's the way human beings express their strong views about things. Doesn't make it right, particularly bullying. It's not right at all. People don't like to be preached to very often. And it isn't likely that a preaching attitude or a bullying attitude is going to be very effective. But a sharing attitude, a caring attitude, can be. And that's what hopefully we might be able to have expressed. So anyway, I see that still at least one other person out there watching. If this has been of value to you, that'd be great. We'll try to schedule something like this in the future that we can maybe attract more people to. I think it's an important topic, particularly one that having a dialogue that isn't just like the Facebook dialogue that occurred, where it's obviously just one-sided. You talk and then you sit and wait to talk again. Again, appreciate all of you that are out there on Blob. Hopefully somebody will look at the replay, and if you get something that you're passionate about, you can add. One of the cool things on the replay is you can put questions in, you can put in comments, you can continue the chat process. And I think I'm going to sign off here from Northern Colorado. Wayne Dorban, DrEcolonomics, signing off. It looks like I'm the only one live on here now. Have a good one, and let's think about this topic. Talk to you later. Bye.